Somewhere in America, sitting quietly inside an old coin jar, might be the single most powerful piece of metal you've ever owned. A coin that looks ordinary, but could secretly be worth more than a brand new luxury car. Welcome to Secret of Us Coins, where we uncover the hidden treasures that lie in plain sight. Coins you've held, spent, or even lost, without ever realizing they hold a value that could change your life. Because tonight, we're unlocking the vault on something extraordinary. 10 Washington quarters, yes, just simple 25-cent pieces, but these are no ordinary quarters. These are ghosts of American history, each carrying stories of minting mistakes, rare conditions, and untold value that collectors are fighting to own. And believe me, some of these pieces have exploded in price, turning pocket change into pure fortune. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what to look for, what to hold on to, and what to never, ever spend. Because one of these coins could be in your hands right now. So grab your magnifier, because the search for the top 10 ultra-rare and most valuable Washington quarter-dollar coins in today's market starts right now. Let's begin with something mysterious, something from 1984. A coin that might look simple, but hides a story so rare it could turn your coin collection into a gold mine. Coin number 1. Now, hold on tight, because what I'm about to show you may completely change how you look at that simple little quarter sitting in your pocket. This is the Washington quarter dollar 1984 without a mint mark. A coin that has silently crept through America's change drawers, vending machines, and car cup holders for decades, all while hiding one of the most shocking secrets in U.S. minting history. Back in 1984, the United States Mint in Philadelphia was running massive coinage operations. Millions of Washington quarters poured from those presses every single day, bright, shiny, and ordinary. But somewhere amid that ocean of silver-white metal, a handful of coins slipped through the cracks. They bore no mint mark. Nothing. No P, no D, no S, just a clean blank space beneath Washington's neck. At first glance, it looks like a mistake, right? But here is where the story takes a turn. Some experts believe these coins weren't just errors. They were silent survivors of an internal minting variation, possibly struck from experimental dies or during transitional production runs where the mint mark was accidentally omitted. Each one became a quiet relic of that mysterious minting window. Now look closely at the surface. Notice that deep brown layer? That's not dirt, that's the skin of time itself. A natural patina formed over decades, sealing in its authenticity. It's the kind of surface that coin collectors crave, untouched, uncleaned, and full of historical character. Imagine holding it, the weight, the faint glimmer of copper tone mixed with age. It feels like more than metal. It feels alive with history. Every Washington quarter carries the proud image of America's first president, but this one carries something else, mystery. It whispers stories from minting rooms long gone, machines that hummed under fluorescent lights, while unnoticed treasures rolled off the line. And here's where things get thrilling. Because while millions of 1984 quarters are worth face value, only a few of these no mint mark, brown-layered survivors have surfaced. Their rarity is staggering. Collectors hunt them with almost obsessive passion, bidding furiously whenever one appears in an auction. Today, in fine condition, this coin has been valued at around $68,000. Yes, 68,000 US dollars for what once was just 25 cents. This isn't fiction. This isn't hype. This is real, and it is right now. The market value of this coin is climbing like a rocket, with demand increasing day by day. Collectors know that as fewer examples remain in circulation, each one becomes a greater treasure, a genuine piece of American numismatic legend. Think about that. A coin you could have spent at a gas station in the 80s, now transformed into a small fortune. That's the beauty and the danger of rare coins. They hide in plain sight, waiting for someone with eyes sharp enough to see their true worth. So, how can you tell if you have one? Look for a 1984 Washington quarter that shows no mint mark under Washington's neck. Check the details, crisp lettering, a solid strike, and that deep, brownish layer of natural tone that collectors adore. If you spot one that hasn't been polished or tampered with, you might just be holding a treasure the size of a legend. And here's my tip for collectors and for those dreamers who still check their change every day. Never overlook the ordinary. Examine every coin, especially older quarters from the 1980s and earlier. The rarest pieces often come from the most unexpected places: an old drawer, a garage jar, even that coffee tin your grandfather kept in the basement. Keep it safe, keep it untouched, and keep it authenticated by a trusted grading service if you believe it is the real deal. Because one day, mark my words, the value of this coin will rise even higher. It's not just money, it's a time capsule of America's minting heritage. Collectors around the world are watching these 1984 quarters closely. Every auction, every private sale, every rumor of a new discovery sends ripples through the numismatic community. It's no longer just a coin, it's a symbol of hidden wealth and undiscovered fortune. So next time you hold a quarter, take a second look. The year 1984 might be etched in tiny numbers, but the story behind it is massive. That little brown layered coin could very well be your gateway to history and to a treasure that most people will never know existed. And remember our channel, Secret of Us Coins, updates fresh every single day with new discoveries, new rarities, and new stories of hidden wealth waiting to be found across America. Coin number 2. Now, if you thought the year 1984 no mint mark quarter was unbelievable, wait until you see what came crawling out of the shadows in 1998. This one looks dark, literally, and it hides one of the most bizarre and electrifying stories ever whispered in the world of U.S. coinage. We're talking about the 1998 Washington quarter dollar with the P mint mark, but this one has something sinisterly beautiful about it, a mysterious black shade that wraps its surface like smoke over silver. At first glance, it looks aged, almost forgotten, the kind of coin you might overlook in loose change. But that's the mistake most people make, because this dark-toned quarter is no ordinary coin. It's a survivor, a shadow from America's minting history. Let's rewind time. In 1998, the Philadelphia Mint was running smooth, producing millions of quarters for daily use. It was business as usual, precision, repetition, and perfection. But amid those humming machines and spinning dies, something happened that no one expected. A small batch of coins came out with unusual tones, darker than any others. Some experts say it was due to a chemical reaction during the minting process. Others believe it happened later, an accidental exposure to certain elements or air compositions that caused an incredibly rare natural oxidation. Whatever the reason, it gave birth to what collectors now call the Black Shade 1998 quarter, a coin that looks like it's been kissed by time and shadow alike. Hold it in your hand, and you will feel something different. The surface isn't shiny and cold, it's matte, mysterious, rich with character. The black hue almost feels deliberate, as if the coin aged with purpose, absorbing every story of every hand it passed through. This is what makes it so magnetic to collectors. It's real. It's alive. It's the kind of piece that doesn't just tell history, it breathes it. And then there's that tiny but powerful P mint mark, the proud symbol of Philadelphia. But here's the catch. Not all 1998 quarters are created equal. The black shaded versions are extremely rare. Fewer than a handful have been found in this naturally darkened, circulated condition that still retains sharp detail. That combination, circulation wear, natural toning, and striking clarity, is what pushes this coin into legendary territory. And yes, in the collector's market today, this coin in circulated fine condition has been valued around $45,000 for a single quarter. Think about that for a moment. A coin worth 25 cents, possibly sitting in a drawer right now, carrying a value that could easily change your life. This isn't hype. This isn't speculation. This is the kind of coin that makes seasoned collectors' hearts race. Its value is rising rapidly because every year new enthusiasts enter the market, but coins like this, they do not multiply. They disappear, locked away in private collections, sealed in graded slabs, or tucked in vaults where the public may never see them again. That's what drives the demand and fuels the frenzy. So how can you spot one? Look closely at your 1998 quarters, especially those with the P mint mark. If you find one that carries a rich, even black tone across its surface, not dirty, not burned, but naturally oxidized with that soft, matte darkness, stop everything. That coin deserves your full attention. And don't clean it. Don't polish it. The natural black shade is what makes it valuable. Removing it destroys decades of history and thousands of dollars in value. Let it stay just as it is, pure, aged, and powerful. Collectors adore these black shade survivors because they stand out. They tell a story of circulation, endurance, and mystery. While most coins lose their beauty with age, this one found its identity in it. And believe me, the price of this piece is not settling anytime soon. The coin market is on fire right now, and rare varieties like the 1998 black-shaded quarter are leading that charge. Wait a little longer, and you will see its value grow like a secret investment that keeps surprising everyone who doubted it. So to my fellow treasure hunters and coin lovers watching right now, let this be your reminder. Never underestimate what is hiding in your change. One quarter, one single coin could hold the kind of value that transforms how you look at every dollar you touch. Keep your eyes sharp, keep your curiosity alive, and always check your 1998 quarters from Philadelphia because one of them could very well be your black diamond in disguise. And don't forget our channel, Secret of Us Coins, is freshly updated every single day, bringing you the newest finds, the rarest treasures, and the true stories behind America's hidden coin wealth. So stay tuned because the next coin on our list climbs even higher in rarity, and what you will see next might just leave you speechless. Coin number 3. Now we step back into a time when America itself was changing. It's the year 1967, the summer of love, the age of revolution, the moment the United States Mint made a historic and shocking decision, one that would forever change the face of coin collecting. This is the story of the 1967 Washington quarter dollar with no mint mark, a coin that carries the echo of an era and the mystery of a lost identity. You see, during the mid-1960s, the United States was facing an unprecedented coin shortage. Silver prices were soaring, coins were vanishing from circulation, and collectors were snatching up every unique piece they could find. The Mint was desperate to keep America's economy moving. So in 1965, something extraordinary happened. The Mint stopped putting mint marks on coins. No P for Philadelphia, no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco. They vanished. For 3 years, 1965, 1966, and 1967, the mint stripped away the marks that told the story of where a coin was born. Why? To discourage hoarding, to break the collector's frenzy. But ironically, that decision created some of the most collectible and valuable coins in the United States. History, and one of them is right here before you. The 1967 Washington quarter without mint mark, a survivor of that chaotic era. Now look at this piece. Just look at it. At first glance, it seems like a normal coin. Washington's proud profile, the eagle perched in strength on the reverse. But beneath that familiar design hides something hauntingly rare. Because while millions of these coins were minted, only a few survived in the condition you are about to see. Very fine, perfectly balanced, rich in detail, and touched only by time itself. And that's where this treasure becomes something else entirely. The composition? This 1967 quarter was struck in a clad composition, copper sandwiched between layers of nickel, a new innovation after silver was removed from circulation. But that transition wasn't perfect. Many coins came out slightly off, some with uneven layers, some with missing details, and some with slight tonal variations that collectors now treasure like holy relics. When you hold a 1967 no-mint quarter in very fine condition, you're not just holding metal, you're holding history. You're holding the moment America changed its money forever. The natural toning that appears across its surface is breathtaking, a soft blend of gray and silver hues, kissed by faint age marks that prove its authenticity. Every tiny scratch tells a story of hands, pockets, decades, and journeys across time. Now let's talk rarity. In the world of numismatics, not all rarity is about how few coins were made. Sometimes it's about how few have survived the years in remarkable condition. And that's where this 1967 piece stands alone. Most of these coins were worn out, damaged, or melted down. Very few remain in such fine, preserved state, and that makes them treasures of the highest order. Collectors today are hunting for them relentlessly, scouring every collection, every estate sale, every auction, hoping to find that one quarter that looks ordinary until you look closer. And when one surfaces in very fine condition, the room goes silent. The bids rise like waves. Because this simple, markless coin commands a price that is enough to stop your heart. Today, this 1967 Washington quarter, no mint mark, very fine condition, is valued at an astounding $132,500. Yes, $132,500. A single quarter that could turn your coin jar into a personal treasure chest. This isn't fantasy. This isn't just collector gossip. This is happening right now, with real sales, real bidders, and real demand driving this coin to legendary status. The market is alive, and this coin is leading the charge. Its value has been climbing month after month, breaking new records as collectors and investors rush to claim their piece of America's minting mystery. So if you ever find a 1967 Washington quarter in your collection, no mint mark, sharp details, strong edges, and that perfect aged glow, you could be holding a piece of the minting revolution itself. Here's my collector's tip for you. Never underestimate coins from transitional years. When governments change metal content or minting methods, that is when anomalies and rare survivors are born. Those are the coins that explode in value decades later, and the 1967 quarter is the perfect example. Keep it protected, get it professionally graded, and hold on to it like it is pure treasure, because that is exactly what it is. And remember this, the 1967 Washington quarter doesn't just represent a year, It represents a transformation, a turning point in America's coinage history where everything changed and where a few rare survivors became immortal. So next time you are going through your quarters, slow down. Check the year. If you see 1967, take a deep breath. Look closer, because that simple little coin might just be whispering your destiny. And stay with us, because here on Secret of Us Coins, we uncover the stories, the secrets, and the treasures that the rest of the world walks right past. We bring you freshly updated episodes every single day, packed with the newest discoveries, the wildest rarities, and the hidden wealth waiting inside the coins you already own. Coin number 4. Sometimes, the most shocking treasures hide behind the smallest mistakes. And tonight, we're diving into one of the strangest modern mysteries ever to come out of the United States. Mint a quarter that should never have existed without a mint mark. This is the 1993 Washington quarter dollar without mint mark, a coin that looks perfectly normal until you realize it carries a secret that no one expected to see in the 1990s. Now let's rewind the clock. It's 1993, Bill Clinton is president, the internet is just being born, and the US. Mint has long since returned to its system of marking every coin with its home mint. P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. But then something happened. Somewhere during the minting runs, a small number of dies, possibly test strikes or production dies that slipped through inspection, began striking quarters with no mint mark at all. No one noticed at first. Machines ran fast. Presses thundered. Coins poured into bags, shipped across the country, and scattered into circulation. But a few sharp-eyed collectors noticed something missing right under Washington's neck. At first, the mint didn't confirm the anomaly. Some believed it was a myth, maybe worn down by age or overpolishing. But then certified examples started to appear, authenticated by grading companies, and the whispers became a roar. This was real. The 1993 quarter without mint mark had been born and instantly transformed into one of the most puzzling modern rarities of American coinage. Now, picture it. A quarter that lived its life like any other, passed through hands, pockets, registers, decades of use, but secretly carrying a minting mystery worth a fortune. Even in circulated condition, this coin radiates character. Every scratch, every tiny nick is proof of its journey from 1993 to now. But that smooth, empty space where the mint mark should be, that is where the real magic lies. Because that absence, that tiny missing letter, turns an ordinary coin into a legend. Collectors crave these pieces not just for their rarity, but for what they represent, the unpredictable nature of the mint itself. In a world of precision and control, these coins remind us that even the most perfect systems can leave behind a secret. And secrets are what drive collectors wild. Today, this 1993 Washington quarter, without mint mark, even in circulated condition, commands a jaw-dropping market value of $52,000. Yes, 52,000 US dollars for a quarter that's traveled through decades of American hands and now sits as a symbol of pure chance and numismatic wonder. And mark my words, the value of this coin isn't slowing down. It is climbing fast. Collectors are fighting over these rare minting survivors, and every time one hits the auction block, the price pushes higher. It's like watching treasure evolve right before your eyes. If you ever stumble upon a 1993 quarter, stop. Hold it under a bright light. Look carefully beneath Washington's neck. If you do not see that tiny mint mark, you may be staring at a fortune hiding in plain sight. Here's my collector's tip. Never dismiss a coin because it looks used. some of the most valuable coins in the world, don't shine. They glow with history. That worn texture tells you it has been alive, circulating, surviving, and now resurfacing as a priceless artifact of minting mystery. Store it carefully, protect it from cleaning or scratching, and have it graded by a trusted professional. Authenticity transforms curiosity into power, and in this case, into wealth. The 1993 No Mint Quarter is a reminder that even in the modern era, errors still slip through the cracks. And those cracks are where treasures are born. So, if you're watching this, promise me something. After this video, grab that jar of change sitting in your kitchen, your car, your drawer. Check every 1,993 quarter you find. That one coin could be the spark that changes everything. Because right now, this coin isn't just rare, it's legendary. Collectors across the United States are chasing it, and prices are climbing higher than ever before. Wait a little longer, and that $52,000 price tag could double. This is not just a coin, it's a golden opportunity in disguise. And remember, friends, here on Secret of Us Coins, we bring you fresh updates every single day, unveiling the treasures, the secrets, and the stories that most people will never notice in their lifetime. Your next coin could be your hidden fortune, and you will only know if you look. So stay curious, stay searching, because this is only the beginning, and the next coin in this list will absolutely blow your mind. Coin number 5. Now get ready, because we're about to journey back in time to an age of silver, craftsmanship, and quiet miracles. A time when America's coins were still made of precious metal, and every minting press carried the sound of history being forged in silver. This is the 1957 Washington quarter dollar without mint mark, covered in mysterious black spots, and worth an absolutely stunning fortune. The year is 1957. The air in the Philadelphia Mint is heavy with metallic dust and the rhythmic thunder of the presses. Each coin born that year was struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, a rich and brilliant blend that gave the quarter its classic glow and its enduring legacy. But among those shining silver discs, something strange began to happen. Some coins left the mint with an unusual flaw, not a break, not a chip, but a pattern of dark, shadowy spots scattered across their surface. Collectors today call them black spot survivors. At first, these dark marks were dismissed as damage, tarnish, maybe oxidation. But experts digging deeper discovered something far more intriguing. Those spots weren't simple stains. They were chemical fingerprints of the coin's long life, formed by micro-reactions between the silver and traces of environmental air compounds while the coin aged naturally. That means every black spot tells a different story. No two are alike. And on the 1957 No Mint Mark quarter, they form something hypnotic, like shadows trapped inside silver. Now let's talk about why this coin matters so much. In 1957, the United States Mint produced millions of quarters, but nearly all of them were later melted, worn down, or lost as the silver age faded. By the late 1960s, silver quarters vanished from circulation entirely. That's why surviving examples from this era, especially those without mint marks from Philadelphia, are extraordinarily rare. But when you combine that rarity with unique black toning patterns and fine level preservation, you are no longer holding a coin, you are holding a time capsule, a preserved whisper of America's silver past. Collectors adore this coin for more than its rarity. They love it for its soul. Because each 1957 No Mint quarter feels different. It doesn't shine like a mirror, it glows like an ember. It tells you it's been alive, it's seen decades of hands, trade stories, and still refuses to fade away. And then there's the value. Oh, the value. In today's fiercely competitive collector's market, the 1957 Washington quarter without mint mark, carrying those signature black spots and preserved in fine condition, is valued at around $162,500. Yes, $162,500 US dollars. That's not imagination. That's the real recorded market value. And it's still climbing. Coin experts predict these vintage silver quarters will continue to skyrocket as supply dwindles and investor demand explodes. Every day that passes makes each survivor even more precious. So if you ever come across a 1957 quarter that looks darker than usual, with black spotting, deep toning, and that silent absence of a mint mark beneath Washington's neck, stop everything. You might just be staring at a relic that could rewrite your financial story. Here's my advice for you collectors and treasure hunters. Never clean it. Never polish it. Those black spots, that uneven tone, that's not dirt. That's history. That's what gives it soul, authenticity, and unimaginable worth. Seal it. Protect it. Get it authenticated by a professional grading service. Because once that authenticity is locked in, that coin transforms from curiosity to legend. And remember, the Philadelphia no-mint coins of the 1950s are among the most sought after in America right now. They bridge the gap between old-world silver craftsmanship and modern collectible rarity. They're not just old coins. They're keys to America's economic and artistic legacy. Think about this. Every time you hold a 1957 quarter, you're holding 90% silver. But that silver is more than metal. It's a story, a legacy, a symbol of value that has never stopped growing. And here's the truth. Coins like these are becoming harder to find with each passing day. The market for rare quarters is heating up fast. Collectors are fighting over them, and the price of fine condition pieces is approaching what we once thought impossible. So, to my loyal viewers, if you have a 1957 quarter, look closely. Look for those dark silver shadows, that missing mint mark, and that fine level detail. That might just be your moment, your piece of history, your hidden treasure. And as always, here on Secret of Us Coins, we bring you fresh daily updates, rare finds, breaking discoveries, and new hidden treasures emerging across the country. Stay tuned, because the next coin on our list takes rarity to an entirely different level. It's a coin that collectors are calling the crown jewel of modern quarters. Coin number 6. From the year 1956, no mint mark, and it hides a story that only a few collectors truly understand. Let's travel back to 1956. Eisenhower was in the White House. Elvis Presley had just begun to shake the world. And deep inside the Philadelphia Mint, the presses thundered day and night, producing millions of Washington quarters, each carrying the face of America's first president and the soul of a nation on the rise. But among those millions, a few emerged different. Struck with unusual precision, composed of 90% silver, these coins gleamed brighter, weighed purer, and carried the rare no-mint mark, the silent signature of Philadelphia. Now here's where the mystery begins. Most 1956 quarters disappeared, melted down for their silver when the price of precious metals soared, or worn smooth by decades of circulation. But once in a while, a survivor surfaces. A coin that somehow escaped the melting pots, the polishing, the careless hands. One that remained intact. And when that happens, collectors go wild. Because a 1956 Washington quarter, without mint mark, in very fine condition, is not just rare, it's unbelievable. These coins are almost extinct in this grade. Every detail of Washington's hair, Every feather on the eagle's wings tells a story of craftsmanship, survival, and silver purity that can never be replicated again. You see, this was one of the last full silver quarters ever produced before America shifted away from silver coinage in the 1960s. That's why collectors call it the last breath of true silver. And then there's that no mint mark, no letter beneath the wreath, no D, no S, just silence. That small absence tells you one thing. It was born in Philadelphia, the oldest mint in the country, where some of the most legendary coins in the United States. History was struck. Now imagine finding one of these coins today. Maybe it is sitting in your old coin jar. Maybe it is tucked in a drawer, covered in dust, forgotten for decades. You pick it up, and it feels heavier, denser. You notice the year, 1956. You look under Washington's neck, no mint mark. And that's when your heart starts racing. Because if it's in very fine condition, you might just be holding a coin worth up to $168,000. That's right, $168,000 for a single quarter. It's the kind of find that turns collectors into believers. A moment where history, luck, and destiny collide. Experts say that these coins gain value not just because of rarity, but because of timing. As the supply of silver-era coins dries up and collector interest skyrockets, each surviving 1956 quarter becomes a living relic, a silver witness to mid-century America. And here's the secret. If you ever come across one, don't clean it. Don't polish it. Don't even breathe on it too hard. That natural toning, that aged glow, is what gives it soul. It is what tells the graders and collectors this coin is real, untouched, and historic. Each spot, each shadow, each microscopic mark on that silver surface is a fingerprint of time. Erase it, and you erase its value. So if you find one, treat it like treasure. Because it is. Get it authenticated, graded, and protected. Because these coins aren't just worth money, they're worth legacy. Every collector dreams of discovering one. And maybe, just maybe, the next hand that uncovers this forgotten silver piece will be yours. Because the 1956 Washington quarter, without mint mark, isn't just another coin, it's the heartbeat of America's silver age. It's history that refuses to fade. So before you spend that old quarter in your change jar, look closer. Because that ordinary piece of silver might just be the rarest treasure you will ever hold. And remember, here on Secret of Us Coins, we uncover stories that others overlook. Each coin we show isn't just metal, it's emotion, mystery, and hidden fortune waiting to be found. Stay tuned because what's coming next will leave you speechless. Our next coin takes rarity to a level even the experts didn't see coming, a coin that redefined what ultra-rare truly means. Number 7. Now, brace yourself, because what you're about to hear might just make you dig through your pocket change tonight. This next coin doesn't sparkle. It doesn't shine. In fact, it looks almost forgotten. Darkened. A black shade running across its surface. Dirt clinging to its edges. But underneath that humble appearance lies a secret, one that has stunned collectors across the United States. This is the 1987 Washington quarter with the P mint mark, a coin that doesn't just tell a story of age, it tells a story of mystery, survival, and hidden value. Let's go back to 1987, a time when the United States Mint was operating at full speed in Philadelphia. Millions of quarters were struck that year, each bearing the bold P under Washington's neck. To most people, they were just change. But among those millions, a few came out different, unintentional masterpieces born from tiny minting quirks, chemical reactions, and time itself. And this is where the black shade enters the story. You see, many collectors call it the shadowed quarter. Its unusual tone wasn't caused by fire or damage, but by a rare oxidation process that occurred naturally on certain copper-nickel-clad coins, a chemical whisper from the past that gives it a haunting, almost ghostly appearance. What is even more fascinating is the coin's dirty, unpolished condition. To an untrained eye, it might seem worthless. But to a professional collector, that natural wear, that untouched surface, that authentic patina is proof of originality. It shows the coin hasn't been tampered with, cleaned, or altered. It's as genuine as the day it left the Philadelphia Mint nearly 4 decades ago. And that's exactly why collectors fight for it. Because this isn't just a coin. It's a survivor. A 1987 Washington quarter that defied time, circulation, and corrosion, yet still holds its full design and its powerful aura of rarity. Now here's the part that blows everyone away. When one of these pieces, with that signature black shade and in dirty but preserved condition, lands in the hands of a collector or grading expert, its value doesn't just surprise, it shocks. The current market value for this exact variety has reached an astonishing $55,000 and rising. Think about that for a second. $55,000 for a coin that most people would overlook, dismiss, or even toss aside because it looks old. But that's the magic of numismatics, the beauty that hides in imperfection. Collectors say this coin represents a unique chapter of American minting history, the 1980s, when technology and tradition collided. Each black-shaded quarter tells a slightly different story. No two surfaces are identical. It's a reminder that time itself is the greatest artist. And that's exactly why demand is skyrocketing. Auction houses have seen bidding wars over coins that share these same mysterious tones, because every serious collector wants that shadowed piece in their vault. But here's a golden tip for every viewer watching right now. If you ever come across a 1987 Washington quarter with a P-mint mark that carries that unique dark surface, don't dismiss it. Handle it carefully. Never clean it. Because that dirt, that shade, that is your proof of authenticity. That's your connection to a 1980s minting moment that can never be replicated. Get it authenticated. Send it to a grading service. Because what you're holding isn't just currency, it's a story of American minting evolution sealed in metal. Every coin tells a truth. And the truth of the 1987 Washington quarter is simple. It's not what's shiny that's valuable. It's what's real. And the reality here? You could be holding a piece worth $55,000. A coin that makes collectors' hearts skip a beat. A coin that proves treasure doesn't always glitter. Sometimes it hides under a layer of time. So the next time you find a quarter that looks dull, dark, or dirty, do not ignore it. That small disc could be your ticket to something extraordinary. Because on Secret of Us Coins, we don't just find rare coins, we uncover the legends that lie within them. And this one, the 1987 Shadow Quarter, might just be one of the most hauntingly beautiful treasures of them all. Number 8. The 1934 Washington Quarter, without a mint mark, cloaked in a mysterious black layer and carrying a story that stretches back to one of America's hardest, most transformative decades. Let's go back to the year 1934. The Great Depression was gripping the nation. Millions were out of work. Red lines stretched for blocks. And the U.S. Mint was facing one of its toughest missions ever to restore trust, to revive hope, and to remind America that even in the darkest times, its spirit still shined. And so they struck the Washington Quarter. It wasn't just another coin. It was a symbol of strength, a tribute to George Washington on the 200th anniversary of his birth. Carrying his dignified portrait on the obverse and the majestic eagle on the reverse, wings spread wide, a sign that the nation would rise again. But among all those 1,934 quarters minted in Philadelphia, a small handful came out different. They bore no mint mark, the signature of the Philadelphia Mint, and were struck with a slightly deeper luster, purer silver content, and subtler toning. Over time, many of these coins took on a black layer, a natural oxidation that settled across their silver surface. To an untrained eye, that darkened hue might look like age or even damage, but to collectors, it is a badge of authenticity. It's proof that the coin has lived, that it's survived nearly a century of history without being scrubbed, polished, or erased. And that's where the magic lies. Because when you hold a 1934 Washington quarter with that unique black toning in fine condition, you're not just holding metal, you're holding a relic of America's rebirth. You're touching a piece of the Depression era that carries every mark, every shadow, every whisper of time perfectly preserved. These coins were struck in 90% silver, with precision that today feels almost artistic. The detail in Washington's profile, the curls in his hair, the depth of his gaze, the weight of history in every line was captured with extraordinary craftsmanship. And when you see one of these black-toned survivors, you realize something incredible. It's not the shine that makes it special, it's the story. Collectors around the world have been hunting this 1934 no mint mark quarter for decades. It's become a legend in coin circles, not because it's flashy, but because it's real. A survivor from an age when people saved every cent, when a quarter meant a meal, when every coin passed through hands filled with hope and hardship. And that's what makes its discovery so powerful today. Because when one of these pieces resurfaces in that natural dark patina with no mint mark and in fine condition, it sends shockwaves through the collector community. The current market value for a genuine 1934 Washington quarter without mint mark, in fine condition, has reached an extraordinary $182,500. That's not hype. That's history speaking. Think about it. A coin minted in the heart of the Depression, once worth 25 cents, now commanding a value that could buy you a home or start an entire collection of your own. And here's the best part. The value of this coin is still climbing. Experts say that the 1934 quarter has seen one of the fastest appreciation rates among early Washington issues. Why? Because it is a first-generation design, the dawn of the series, and its survivors are disappearing. Every year, fewer surface. Every year, demand rises. Collectors know that once these black-layered examples are gone, they will be gone forever. So here's your collector's tip. If you ever come across a 1934 Washington quarter without mint mark, with that rich, natural black toning, don't clean it. Don't polish it. That tone isn't dirt, it's time. That black layer is what separates treasure from trash. Get it authenticated. Protect it. Because what you're holding could easily be the centerpiece of a serious collection, a coin that tells America's story through every ounce of silver it contains. You could be holding the kind of coin that changes not just your collection, but your destiny. This isn't fiction. It's real. The 1934 Washington quarter, the coin that turned survival into silver, hardship into history, and ordinary metal into a treasure worth $182,500. And remember, this is just one chapter of America's hidden wealth. Here on Secret of Us Coins, every day we bring you freshly uncovered stories, true treasures that the world has forgotten and you might be holding in your own hands right now. So look closely at your old quarters. Check that year, 1934. Because sometimes history hides in plain sight. Coin number 9. There are moments in numismatic history when a coin stops being just currency and becomes a symbol of change. And one of those moments came in 1962. A simple quarter. No mint mark. To most people, it looks like every other Washington quarter ever made. But to those who know, to those who understand the hidden pulse of United States coinage, this coin is something else entirely. This is the 1962 Washington quarter without a mint mark, and its story will take you back to one of America's final chapters of true silver. Let's step back in time to an America on the edge of transformation. It's 1962. Kennedy is in the White House. The Cold War is in full swing. Gas costs 31 cents a gallon, and a quarter just 25 cents could buy you a hot meal. But inside the Philadelphia Mint, something remarkable was happening. They were still producing the Washington quarter in its original glory, a 90% silver composition. The last breath of an era before cost-cutting would strip that purity away forever. And that's what makes the 1962 no mint mark quarter so special. It represents the end of America's silver age, the twilight moment before change swept it all away. Each one of these coins was struck with care, carrying not only Washington's proud profile, but also the nation's unspoken promise of quality, integrity, and heritage. But few of those coins survived. You see, when silver prices exploded in the late 1970s, countless 1962 quarters were melted down by the thousands lost to the furnaces of greed and profit. Only a handful remained, and fewer still in fine condition, untouched, uncleaned, and still wearing that soft, natural glow that only genuine silver can carry. And that's why this coin is so highly prized today. Collectors chase it because it isn't just rare, it's the last breath of silver America. No mint mark means it was born in the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest in the nation, the birthplace of American coinage. And when a coin comes from Philadelphia in that period, it carries weight, legacy, and precision unlike any other. Now imagine this. You're going through an old collection, maybe something passé but down from a grandparent. You pick up a quarter that feels heavier than usual, colder, denser. You look closer. The date reads 1962. You turn it no mint mark. The shine is soft, natural, not blinding. That's when your pulse starts racing. Because what you're holding could be worth more than $152,000 in today's collector market. Yes, that's the current verified market value of this incredible 1962 no mint mark Washington quarter in fine condition. And here's what makes it even more extraordinary. Its value isn't just steady, it's rising. Every year, as fewer silver quarters remain and collectors become more passionate about pre-1964 mintages, the price of these relics keeps climbing like a rocket. This is not a coin you find every day. This is not a lucky quarter from a soda machine. This is an heirloom, a sleeping treasure that once awakened could rewrite your financial story. And the beauty of it? It doesn't need to sparkle. It doesn't need to look perfect. The natural toning, the slight wear on Washington's cheek, the faint marks of history, those are what make it authentic, alive, and priceless. Here's a collector's truth. Never polish silver history. When it comes to coins like this, that natural texture and color are more valuable than a mirror finish. It's the difference between a story told and a story erased. So if you ever come across a 1962 Washington quarter without mint mark, in fine condition, treat it like treasure, because that's exactly what it is. Protect it. Get it graded. Because you might just be holding a six-figure piece of American heritage. And remember, its value isn't done climbing. Experts predict that as the years pass, this coin will become one of the most hunted silver quarters in the United States. History. The kind of coin that transforms a simple collector into a legend. So before you let another silver quarter slip through your fingers, look closer. Because the next time you see that quiet little 1962 glinting back at you, you might just be staring at $152,000 masterpiece from America's Silver Age. And this is why we exist. Here on Secret of Us Coins, we bring you the rarest finds, the hidden treasures, and the stories the world forgot every single day. Because somewhere, in your change, in your drawer, or in your old family collection, might be the next coin we reveal. Coin number 10. Every great story in coin history has a turning point, a moment when the old world fades and the new one begins. And in American coinage, that moment came in 1965. This coin right here, the 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark, carries the mark of change. It's the symbol of an ending and the beginning of something entirely new. You see, before 1965, quarters were made of real silver, 90% pure, shining with heritage and history. But as silver prices began to skyrocket in the early 1960s, the U.S. Mint faced a crisis. They could no longer afford to strike everyday coins from silver or risk people melting them down for profit. So in 1965, everything changed. Silver was gone. The new quarter was born from copper and nickel, clad together in layers, lighter, duller, but built to survive the modern age. But among those millions of new coins, something unexpected happened. Some 1965 quarters were struck on leftover silver planches, silver blanks that had been stored from previous mint runs. Others developed rare brown or bronze-toned surfaces through age, circulation, and unique minting conditions, coins that stood apart, mysterious and different. And when those rare 1965 quarters surfaced, collectors knew these weren't just change. They were transitional miracles. Now, the one we're talking about today, the 1965 Washington quarter, without mint mark, in circulated condition with a brown shade, is one of those incredible survivors. It looks humble, almost ordinary, until you realize what it truly represents. That brown tone, that subtle patina, it's the fingerprint of history. It tells you this coin lived, passed through hands in an era when America was redefining its economy, its technology, and even its money. It's a coin that bridges the old world of silver and the new age of clad metal. And for collectors, that makes it priceless. Because transitional year coins like this don't just capture a design, they capture an era. They are the living heartbeat between what was and what would be. And here's where the suspense builds. When a 1965 no mint mark Washington quarter with that brown natural shade appears in a collector's catalog or auction, the reaction is electric. Experts lean in, eyes wide, because they know they're looking at something beyond rare. These coins are like echoes from a lost time, whispers of Silver Age perfection hidden inside a modern shell. And their value reflects that mystery. The current market value for this exact coin, the 1965 Washington quarter without mint mark, in brown, shaded, circulated condition, has now reached an astounding $122,000. That's not speculation. That's today's real, documented market, rising month after month, as collectors realize how few of these unique 1965 pieces still exist. And what's more incredible, the value is climbing fast. Because transitional era quarters like this have become the holy grail for serious numismatists. They represent a story the moment America's money literally changed forever. So here's a collector's tip for everyone watching right now. If you ever come across a 1965 Washington quarter that looks slightly brown, golden, or darkly toned, don't ignore it. Check the weight. Check the sound. Check the edge. You might just have one of these transitional treasures. Never clean it. Never shine it. Never try to make it look new. That natural brown layer is your proof, the sign of authenticity that collectors crave. That is the coin's soul, the story of 6 decades written in copper and a time. And if you're lucky enough to find one like this, you're not holding 25 cents. You're holding $122,000 treasure that connects you directly to the moment when America's Silver Age came to an end. This is more than a coin, it's a message, a symbol of change, endurance, and evolution. A bridge between silver and copper, past and future, history and hope. The 1965 Washington quarter, without mint mark, isn't just rare, it's transformative. And that's why we save the best stories for last. Because on Secret of Us Coins, we uncover the secrets that others overlook. We dig through time to bring you real American treasures, coins that don't just hold value, they hold legacy. And remember, we post fresh stories and updates every single day, so you never miss the next great discovery. So go check your coins, that one in your pocket, in your drawer, in your family box, because you never know, the next great American treasure might already be in your hands.